Hi, it's me again. So, third video in a row. Let's go. Okay, so we were talking about the different beings I'm or encountering in my out-of-body experiences. This time we're gonna talk about some massive beings that can mess with our relationships, that can mess with our lives, and stop the flow. Like you might have a relationship where you give, um, yeah, like what am I doing? And in those relationships, when you give and stuff, sometimes it feels like you're not getting it back. Sometimes you want to communicate, but people are not getting it back, and it feels like you're being isolated. There's no feedback. There's no acceptance. There's no like you give constantly. You're trying to do something, but no one responds. You feel like you're abandoned, and that's the stuff I want to touch about today. And not necessarily as much as psychologically, as much as like the beings out there that can cause this stuff to happen. Now, I don't know if it's going to affect everyone. Probably a few beings, because I've been working and giving a session to this wonderful person. And so, this wonderful person, like, is a very great being, like, giving and communicating and doing a lot. And all of a sudden, in life, somehow things don't work out. No matter how much you give, you just don't get the same amount back. Even if you try to communicate, people don't respond, and then eventually abandon you, leave you, and stuff like that. So it happens. And this time I'm doing a session with this person, and okay, we're gonna find out why it's happening. So I'm looking at reasons, what causes it, where does it come from, and one thing I'm okay, so I get out of body, I focus on the person, I get close to the person, like scanning and stuff. And some scanning surroundings, I'm like noticing this cord. I'm like, it's not that cord, silver cord, is not nothing like that, but it's as if every person in the world, or like all the relationships we have, all the people we know personally and have had some interaction, it's as if there's a cord, like a string or something, holding us entangled together. And now that person and you, once you connect on some level, it's as if there's a cord attached to you, and it's like being a massive communicator, and you can attach to everyone. Like it's like Death Stranding. If you play the game, it's a really good game, and you're basically creating connections and those cords with people and keeping it tight and stuff. And that's great. But here's the thing: I'm noticing, okay, so this cord, who's where's it going? And I'm following, this cord goes there, this cord goes there, and I'm just like, the person has lots of connections, so I'm like following this stuff and like trying to find out how does it all work. Eventually, what do I find out is I'm like following, it's like climbing a rope or like flying next to it and stuff, and there's this massive, huge ass ball, and they're like all the cords that would go out because of relationship, because of the opportunity, because of the event and stuff. It just comes out, and all of those things entangle. So tons of things that you give out, and eventually they should reach someone. It comes entangled, just a ball. If you ever had a grandma who likes knitting and stuff, and she has ball of whatever, that's the stuff. And so I'm like, okay, so how did that happen? And here I am looking around, and I'm looking, and I'm feeling like there's this a weird feeling behind me. What's that? I turn around, and it's just creeping me out because I hate spiders. And there's this sort of spider-looking being. I don't want to think about that. Yeah, I have reacted because of my past. But I'm looking at that beam, and it's as if you can imagine a spider where it's making his own web, and all those things little wires, or I don't know how you would call it. So the wires making its web, and it's very similar, except this being, the goal is to stop connections. So all the cords you would have to other people are being entangled with each other to the point where it's as if you're literally cutting out the bloodstream. So I have my hand here, and someone grabs it tightly, it cannot move anywhere, and in a while it's gonna get blue. I'm not gonna show it to you because this person shouldn't. So anyway, and basically in that kind of way, when you're giving and stuff, the energy goes through, but somewhere in it all it gets entangled. So people don't get your full potential. But the thing is, nothing can come back. There's no two-way stream. There's only one way. So you can give and do stuff, but it's never coming back. And it's very interesting because sometimes in life you have these people you're trying to get help. You just want to communicate. You want to have a friend. You want to do stuff. You want to communicate and stuff. And so you're trying to talk to people. You're trying to have a bond going and stuff. And throughout it all, you just give, do, and stuff, and all of a sudden, you don't get something back. You don't get the same kind of connection. People don't respond. People like, oh yeah, okay, and they're okay with that, and that seems minimal, but you feel like you're abandoned. No one gets on the same level. You don't have a deep connection that you want to have, and then people leaving you behind and stuff like that. So that's one thing. That's people. But at the same time, we have opportunities in life, events and stuff like that. So it's not just like these chords are not entangled only with people, like we have connection, but it also is connected to the events. It's not like fate or like it's not like fate or destiny, but it's more like attracting the stuff that you want. So once you focus on like, okay, this is my goal. I wanna make YouTube videos. I wanna do this and that. So you're gonna have a goal, certain goal in your life, a focus, and that goes and reaches a certain thing. Like okay, that's your focus, and that being will literally grab it, and this is your end goal. So it's gonna tangle up and make sure that you want to reach it, but it's never gonna go back. So you do and stuff. And these opportunities, it's as if they get cut off, and you don't get what you want. And no matter how much you try to focus, you try to do stuff, but it just doesn't come true. So opportunities, events, your goals, your tasks, your missions, whatever you want to call it, relationships, it's all entangled in one huge ball. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's a lot. So you can connect to like I'm seeing all these chords and stuff, and I grab onto one, and it's as if I'm getting like recall of the experience, like recall of people, like faces, the conversation, the connection, the feeling states, or like I call like I grab onto other thing, and like I'm feeling like this great desire to be free, to do more, to help and to give and stuff, and like it's all entangled in one place. So I get to this being like give it like bunch of flight and like make sure like it's in the other realm, like I teleported to another realm where that being cannot harm anyone anymore, or at least that person that he was messing with. And I start untangling all these cords and sort of freeing. And all of a sudden, the cord expands and it becomes much bigger, and the two-way flow starts. The energy goes out and the energy comes back. And it's as if that was the opening to the people. Like if you have try to like have the various relationships, someone, you're gonna go for the call, and like they never return the same attention or the same sort of thing, and you want that, and you that's what you're trying to go for, and you just never get it back. And all of a sudden, throughout the session, as I did that, I noticed the second flow back. So it's as if that being was like sort of limiting us in a way where it's not just relationships and opportunities, but also making sure like we get lost in that way, we get hurt in that way. So a lot of times I believe that we're being targeted on the things where we're more vulnerable, we're more susceptible to stuff. If you have issues with relationships, or if you want to work on it more, or if it matters to you more, that's what's going to be targeted. If you're more into career or money or doing something else, whatever your Achilles heel will heal, or like whatever. Yeah, I just like weak point, big, trying to use big words, not working. But anyway, if you have some weak points in your system around yourself, and like wherever they can target you, you're gonna do that. And for people who have like strong desire for relationships and different things, they might get targeted here. So yeah, it was like an interesting session, and that was just like one part of it. That was just one part of it. Another part, like the person is feeling the body ache on the left side of the body. Like okay, then focusing like left side. Let's check that out. And as I'm tracking, like how is it connected? Did it get stabbed or something? Like what's the past life? And left side. And what I'm recalling is not getting hurt, not getting killed, not getting shot and stuff, but getting left behind, being left by people, being left by loved ones, by friends, being left and abandoned. And all of a sudden, this pain in the left side of the body, this is command. This is like you're being left. You're being left behind. You're being left by this person, by that person. You're always being left. And it wasn't so much like the left body parts hurts, as much as just the commands from the past that like sort of literally had to do with being left and stuff. So like it depends on how you find it out. Like I was looking for like, or I thought I'm gonna look for being hurt in a specific place, and I found out like being left behind, being abandoned and stuff. So being able to find those things and being aware of it, and then redoing it, like, what were the connections, how did it hurt the person, how did this sort of thing happens, the emotional trauma and stuff like that, and then redoing it, like, being able to perceive it, know it, see it, but not feel the trauma, not feel the harsh emotions, and just being to confront it and handle it. That was the sort of stuff. And so all the pain that was going out, I was sort of like turning it back into the normal energy, the loving, the energy that will fill up the person and make them feel good. So like sort of it's coming at you the negative way, and you transmute it and redirect it into the good stuff. So that was a session, like, it's really interesting to find out more beings out there in the multiverse that can mess with people in various ways. Like, like we talk about entities that can mess with our thoughts, that can like affect our realities, kidnap us and stuff like that. Here's another big entity, like, like a spider that can literally um, tangle up all the relationships and opportunities and different things. It's pretty interesting. So yeah, probably was gonna be a short video. My throat kind of hurts because I was like talking for like 2 hours straight, like sessions and then videos and stuff like that. But anyway, good info. Like it's really interesting to find out all stuff, and then hearing from people, hearing how they're feeling throughout it all, and how they get better, what they find out themselves. So yeah, that's the stuff. If you notice anything similar in your life, if you had similar ubies or something else, please share your thoughts, your experience. I'm interested to know how you perceive stuff, your experience with it and stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.